Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining us on another episode of the Afrelib podcast series. And we've been discussing the girl child and the world of technology. At Afrelib, we believe every child has a unique voice, and so we listen for it in different ways by how we support teachers, schools, parents, and different education stakeholders. And so this is our third episode, and I'm so excited to introduce the third guest we're having on this topic. I met her during the Abuja Schools Association principals meeting, and I got to get one of her amazing work that she does. Don't worry, she'll tell you about it once I introduce her. And my children got to work with it, and they were so excited. And they've been asking me, "Mommy, when are you going to get another Lara Craft toy?" So with me here today is Mrs. Lara Akinwolere. She is the director of Judy's Preparatory School Abuja, and the founder of Lara Craft Toys. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted to be here.
Oh, great. So tell us a bit about yourself and the Lara Craft Toys. I should have gotten my puzzle box closed here, just so that I can show everyone my box. Let her tell us about herself and a little bit about your craft.
Okay, my name is Lara Akinwolere. I'm the director at Judy's Preparatory School, which is a school for children between the ages of 3 months to 5 years old. That's our early years section, and we recently just started our primary in September last year. So the school has been in operation for almost 8 years now. And with education, the way we have to teach children, we have to ensure that they use all their senses to learn, which is one of the reasons why I started Lara Craft Toys. Lara Craft Toys actually started as a result of the lockdown in March 2020. At that time, we had just the early years school, and it was almost impossible to keep the children online, right? The way we teach the children, it's hands-on, it's interactive, it's fun. So being online, we really couldn't deliver the way we wanted to. So I already had the idea for the toy company a while ago, thanks to my daughter. And in March 2020, I decided to, go ahead with that idea by creating learning resources for the children that were in my school at the time. So what we did was I started creating the resources and sending home to parents. So that way the resources also describe how the materials should be used, the kind of hands-on activities that could be done. And that's pretty much how Lara Craft Toys started. So once the lockdown was over and school was back in session, of course, it made it easier for us, because then I realized that I didn't have to keep importing all the resources and all the toys just the way I've done in the past. So I knew that I could make it. All I had to do really was think about what I wanted to make, how I could make it, and I was just able to get it done. So 3 years after now, Lara Craft Toys is becoming a household name, because it's been used not just by my school, but by schools all across Nigeria. We have schools in Lagos, Ibadan, Kaduna, Kano, Uyo, and other places that have bought our resources. So it's been good so far.
Amazing. And well, I had first-hand experience with it. I tell you, they're so colorful. And I can imagine you had to work with technology. And considering the topic, I'd like to ask the first question: How can technological innovation be made more inclusive to address the unique needs and challenges that the girl child faces? Because I know you're female, and you must have had to work with some technology in designs and all of that. So how do you think we can technological innovations like yours or any other kind that we know out there can be made more inclusive to address the unique needs and challenges that the girl child faces?
Okay, first, with technology and everything else, if it's not accessible to people, then really you can't use it. So the first thing I would say is that we have to promote equal access to technology, right? We have to make sure that computers are provided, the internet is provided, there's connectivity, we have the digital devices for people to use, right? Because without that, really, there's no way we can promote technology. Even if we try, technology is not abstract, you know. You have to see it, you have to use it, you have to understand how it works as well. So yes, we have to promote equal access to technology first by making sure everybody has access to it. With my toy company, technology is also a major part of it, because when I produced my materials, I had to buy a CNC machine, right? And with the CNC machine, it's a computer numerically controlled machine. So it's connected to the computer. So the machine can't work on its own without being connected to the computer, right? And while using that machine, I realized that, there's a software that comes with it, right? So I had to learn how to use the software to be able to operate the machine. So first, if I didn't even have internet access, I wouldn't have been able to hear about that particular machine. I found it online. I read the reviews. You know, I was on YouTube a lot because I actually trained myself on how to use that machine. Before then, I had never used a CNC machine before. But during the lockdown, I had all this time on my hands. I started reading more about the machine, looking at how it works. And eventually, when I brought it in, I was able to start using it with my previous knowledge as well. So with the machine, I couldn't use it without a computer. So I had to understand how to use the software, right? And what I like most times is all these softwares, they always have access to schools. They give schools access, free access sometimes. So that way they're making it easily accessible. So that was a good thing for me, because it already eliminated the fact that I had to pay extra for that software. Because I own a school, it automatically just gave me access as the school owner to be able to use that software. And the reason why they do that is so that we can teach the next generation on how the software is used and how they can also create things. So with the free access I had, it reduced my expenses. And immediately I started learning how to use this particular software. I had to learn about, the X-axis and the Y-axis and the Z-axis on the machine and how to control it, So all of the things that I didn't think I needed in school then, it all came in handy, because there I was controlling this big machine with my small laptop, and I was able to do that thanks to technology.
Wow. Now, seeing that puzzle, I actually was imagining somewhere in my head that you had all this group of people where you said, okay, who's going to do this for me, kind of outsource most of these things. But now hearing from you that you actually had to learn, you had to get all of this studied and do all of that, it has kind of increased my admiration, okay? Because I didn't think that you actually had to, because every time, most times we hear people say, now technology has made it so easy that you don't really need to know all of what you have to do. As much as you can always partner and collaborate with technology to get every other thing done. Someone said, we have technologies that can help you lift, so you don't even need to worry if you have issues with lifting. So by just being able to hear you talk about the process you went through to get all of that, it's really, really cool. Thank you so much for sharing. And talking about what you've done for yourselves in terms of learning and actually being able to do what you're doing using technology and how it impacts the girl child. Two of the guests we had on our podcast series had mentioned the importance of having role models. Having girls and women that have gone ahead and have tried these things and have succeeded with it, sharing with the younger generation so they are inspired. So my next question is, what role can role models and mentors play in inspiring and supporting girls to pursue career in technology? Did you have any female role models? Are you looking at becoming one? And how do you think this can really inspire and impact on the culture?
I'm definitely looking at becoming a role model and mentor in the technology area. And that's also because I have a master's in information systems. So that was what my master's degree was in. So I've always also had this love for technology. And I decided to do my master's then just to be able to understand more. So then when I was before I went for my master's, I was in the telecommunications field, which clearly is technology related as well. So while I was in the telecommunications field, I realized that every company needs an information system to be able to run their business processes properly, right? And I said there's really no company right now that does not use one form of information system or the other. And that relies heavily on technology as well. So I decided to do my master's degree in information systems so I can understand, okay, what kind of technological innovations are out there and how can it help businesses improve their processes. So once I finished my master's, I understood that. I went back into the banking industry for a while, and I was using all this knowledge of helping people adopt technology, because that was actually what my thesis was on, the adoption of information systems, especially in developing countries. First, for people to be able to adopt information systems, there has to be a driver. You have to be the one driving that technology. You have to be the voice, the face, you have to be the one telling people, this is what this technology can do for you. This is how it can do it for you. So that way you're already mentoring people and being, that person that they would go to ask how they can do things, especially with a particular type of technology. So first, by sharing our achievements and experiences with the younger generation, that should serve as some sort of mentorship to them to say, you know what, if you have done it, then yes, it's very possible for me to be able to do it as well. It's not impossible. It's only impossible if you don't even try, but like I always say, how hard can it be? What's the worst that can happen, right? So yes. I think there's a stereotype of people thinking, it's so hard because it's only for male or, it's only men that are in that field. It doesn't have to be. You can find your niche. You can find what you're good at with technology. You don't have to be the technical person that is talking all the, technological jargons like they say. You can, for example, if you're in a technology field and you're the salesperson, sales is telling the customer what that technology will do for them and how it can help improve their business processes, right? You don't necessarily have to be the one in the server room fixing this and making sure the temperature of the server room is hot or cold enough, you can find the area that you're really interested in to say, okay, this is what this technological innovation can do for you. And this is the results that you're going to look for. So you can be that in-between person. So when we sometimes think that, it's only for men or it's so difficult, and that might be because we're trying to do everything at once. But if we pick an area where we feel we can be good in this area, then that would also help. And you picking a niche will definitely build your self-confidence, right? So if somebody knows you that, okay, this person, she has focused on using technology in education, this is her niche, this is her area, you would also start to build that confidence because you're also learning more about it in that area. And you're seeing how that technology is also helping children around you, it's helping businesses and helping to improve the quality of people's lives as well. So building confidence and self-belief is important if we're trying to aspire or inspire the next generation. It's also important for us, like I said, to challenge the stereotype. It's not only for men. You can do it as long as you tell yourself you can. And also by sharing our stories and telling people that it's possible. If I've done it, if 1, 2, 3 other people have done it, you can go for it as well.
Thank you so much. And one of the things I picked is the importance of focus as well. Because most times when we talk technology, we just want to do almost everything at the same time. But once you can focus, find your niche and just get yourself to become a master in that area. Of course, you can then bring in as many other things as you want, but at least have a very clear focus that you can, focus and stay focused on. Last year we had, one of the other reasons why I was excited about this question is, last year we had technology, our first Technology and Career Expo. And we're having this August on the 9th. And last year we had 2 male experts coming, and the female expert wasn't in the aspect of technology. It was in career choice and all of that. And she came in virtually, and we're glad that she did, because there was a lot she said. So but I was just hearing you talk, and when your first response was, you're ready to be a mentor, you're willing to be a mentor. In my head, I was like, oh, we can have a female technology representative this year. Seriously. And a very pretty one at that. Okay. So we should talk more about this after that. But for our career technology as well, even for our challenges, we're excited to see that more girls are winning these challenges that we've been organizing and are involved in it. For the robotics AI challenge this year too, I'm seeing that a lot of girls are involved. Of course, not in the same proportion with the boys, but at least we're excited to see that girls are being represented. So we're looking forward to being able to, direct some of these girls to come learn from you, and either by observing you or even directly relating with you to be inspired. So thank you so much. And then my last question for you, before you give a general advice to every girl child who really wants to go into technology but has that fear and that worry, and probably is not getting the kind of counsel that would push her to follow her dreams. So that would be the last you would share with us. But before that, what are the potential long-term impacts of empowering the girl child through technology?
I think
the society and on economic development.
At the end, what's the impact, the long-term impact? Because whatever we're trying to do, it's not just for now, it's for the long term, right? First, I would say a major thing that it might help with is economic empowerment and poverty reduction. Why do I say that? For example, you equip a girl child on how to use any technological innovation. Most times as women, we're always creating, we come up with different ideas, right? So now imagine enabling this person and giving them more access to technology. What you even thought was impossible, they would be able to come up with something new and even create jobs for people. So let me use myself as an example. Before now, of course, not so many people knew anything about AI or, anything in that area, right? So, of course, I started hearing the buzz about AI as well a while ago. I said, okay, let me try and see what it's all about, right? So towards November, December last year, I started toying with some of the artificial intelligence tools. And with that, I realized that, I can do so much with this. So that's what actually helped me to write my first book. So my first book is titled Meet Lara Craft, and I wrote it using artificial intelligence. So now I'm contributing to education. I'm selling my books. That way I'm also making a living for myself, and I don't necessarily have to rely on someone giving me an income or anything else, because I've been able to reduce my own poverty in a way. Do you understand what I mean? So imagine educating other people to say, if you have this idea, you can actually make money from it, and technology will be your enabler to help you actually achieve this. So with technology, yes, it can reduce poverty because it will help you create jobs, right? It will help you make a living if you know how to do that. And also in the long term, it can increase the diversity in workforce, right? So it's not just going to be men in a particular field. With more women in the field, women think differently. They can always come up with ideas on, it could be how to improve business processes, it could be on a new innovation or anything else they come up with. So the long-term impact is that it will help to create diversity. It will also help to reduce poverty to a large extent, because people will now be able to do things for themselves. And of course, if you're able to provide income for yourself, you're empowered, so it helps to improve empowerment as well. And I think the last thing I'll mention is that it could also help to close the gender gap pay. So most times men are paid more in a particular area, right, than women. It's a different area, even football, right? Men are paid more. So if you as a female take up that challenge, say, you know what, I want to learn this task. This is how I'm going to do it. This is what I want to do. And you go into even a field that is men dominated, but you know your stuff. You know what you're all about. I don't think there should be anything that should stop them from, paying you equally as well, as long as you know what you're doing.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So yes, when we do this, eventually we'll close the gender gap, and then we'll also create a more diverse work environment. And because women and men think differently, they're able to complement each other, and then you have a very rich work environment instead of just having more people in. So thank you so much. And also the fact that we reduce poverty, because we have more women who are being empowered to also go out there and empower others. So thank you very, very much. Very insightful point. Can we have your advice now to that girl who is listening now and has always wanted to go into technology, who has had all these concerns and all these fears, and probably her brothers have told her, no, you can't go there, that's for boys. What's your advice? Are you receiving a call?
Sorry. Okay, can you just ask the question again so I'll know?
Okay, so can we get your advice for young girls who want to go into technology but are either scared or discouraged? What's your advice?
That's a great one. First, I think with anything we do in life, you need to believe in yourself first, right? If you don't believe in yourself enough to want to take risks or try something new, then you would always hold yourself back. I always tell everyone and I ask them, what's the worst that could happen, right? So if you're scared of something, what exactly are you scared of? Failure? You're not the first person that won't have succeeded in something. So what's the worst that would happen if you actually try this thing, and if it doesn't work out, that's one way of not doing it, right? Then you have to figure out how else can I do it. So never be scared to try, right? The worst that would happen is you won't succeed in that area. But guess what? It has also shown you a way of how not to do something. So if the first method didn't work out, you definitely have to try something else again. So please don't be scared. Be willing to take risks and be willing to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, then you'll be stuck in the same place and you'll make mistakes that other people that have made before. And these mistakes are things that could have been avoided if you did just one thing, just ask, right? So please always feel free to ask questions, especially with people that have the experience, people that have gone through it, so that you don't start from scratch. When you listen to advice that people give you, then it's easier for you to just leave out all the mistakes that they have done and then you continue from there.
Oh, this advice is not just for young girls, it's for everyone, every age. Thank you so much. Very, very on point. Thank you for sharing. And I was able to grab my puzzle box to all that. And so I in advance you go for this. I remember when I got home that day, I said, I have something for you guys. But before I bring it out, you need to finish up everything, because of course I wasn't around and they just played it. I didn't like the way everyone was. I said, okay, once you're done, I would bring the surprise out. And they were trying to peep into my bag and I didn't let them. And when I brought it out, they went, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's so nice watching them go over this and then create games from it, taking turns and trying to create a tournament who can fix the puzzle first. Was really nice. So if you want to get this, there's a number behind 08051666094. You can call that number. You can also check www.Lara Craft Toys and on Instagram, it's at Lara Craft Toys, or you can send an email to laracrafttoys@gmail.com. It's an amazing, and this was just one of the things that I saw. I saw a lot, but I had to take at that time. I have plans to go for more. So please do patronize it. It will be nice for your children, for your schools, and all of that. Thank you so much for coming. It's been an amazing time chatting with you. And I'm so blessed that our paths have crossed and that you agreed to come on the show. Thank you. I've been talking with Mrs. Lara Akinwolere. I'm very careful with pronouncing the surname. I had to do a lot of work. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm always excited to at least share my experience, and also if it helps to inspire other people, then that makes me happy as well. So thank you for having me.
Well, good to know. So we'll be knocking on your doors very soon for our talk and Kaka egg. So thank you all for joining in. This is our third episode of the Afrelib podcast series on the girl child and the world of technology. And we'll have the last episode recorded next week and shared with you. If you have particular topics you'd like for us to share with you, please let us know so we can have those series and those topics considered as well. So I've been Joyce Kumina with Afrelib Academy. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your day.